Hi, I am Laura from thegatheringquilt.com. This is a video for 2 at a time, half rectangle triangles. I just barely learned how to make these for this pattern. So if you're scared, don't be, they're easy. I'm going to show you 3 tricks that'll help you get them just right. Anyway, it will be so fun. All right, so half rectangle triangles. You should have 6 E pieces, 6 M pieces. And there's 3 things that you need to keep track of. So first is the direction of your lines, which we'll go over. Second is that you twist them. And third is trimming. So we'll go over steps for each of those. If you do those, you'll be totally fine. I always pick the lighter fabric to do the lines on. And you're gonna draw a line down the center. I use this Clover. It's air soluble, so it just dissolves in air. I know some people use like Crayola washable markers and they love it. So whatever you normally use. At this point, there's a few things you can do. You need a 1/4 inch sewn on either side of this line. So some people just take it to their machine and sew like that. I like to have lines so I know exactly where I'm sewing. So you can take your 1/4 inch on your ruler, line it up on that line that's already there. Hi, Guy. Maisie. And then you flip it over and do the other side. Yeah.
Mama.
My baby is joining us.
Mama.
Yep. Hi, Mama.
Yeah.
The other option I love, in my other video I already talked about this, but this Omni Grid ruler is a 1/2 inch. So you can just put it in the middle of your rectangle and you can draw a line either way. So any of those work. Okay, so that's the line. You need to make sure you have both directions. So you need to have 3 going left and 3 going right. Okay, so make sure you have 3 going this way, 3 going that way. This isn't like half square triangles where you can just flip them around. They have to be that direction. Okay, the second thing to make sure you don't forget with these half rectangle triangles, which is such a tongue twister, is to twist them. I have sewn them before where like that, when I forget, and you get a weird shape, like a weird kite shape. So you're gonna take them, you start like that, and then you just kind of twist. At a certain point, it's just gonna kind of lock onto the other corners, and that's where you stop. I throw a couple pins in so they don't move. And then this one, same thing. You're gonna twist it until it clicks onto the other corners, and then I'll pin it. So like I said, 3 going this way, 3 going that way. I'm gonna go sew these and then we'll press them and trim them. All right, these are sewn. I just wanna point out, if you have this little section where it's not matched up, that's normal, that's right. It looks weird compared to what half square triangles are. You're just gonna line up your 1/4 inch on the seam and then cut down the middle. And then we'll go press these. Okay, so before I press anything, I always do a finger press, and here's why. It's a common thing for quilts to kind of have seams that are ironed like that, where it's not all the way open. And then when it gets quilted, it'll have that messy part. So I'm trying to do this. I miss them sometimes, but if you kind of push it open, it'll make it nice and open without distorting it. And then I did that the wrong way. I always try and iron to the darker side so that it doesn't show through, or it's less likely to show through. Okay, so finger press, and then all you have to do is just set your iron on top for a second. And then we'll go trim them. All right, so we have our half rectangle triangles trimmed. You need some sort of ruler. All of the sizes in this pattern, if you have a 6.5 inch ruler by 24, which a lot of quilters have, that works. Any ruler that's at least, I think 6.5 inches will work though. You can take washi tape or masking tape, and you're gonna tape off the direction or the dimensions that you need for your size. Mine is 4.5 by 6.5. You do whatever size you need. When that's done, you're gonna go a 1/4 inch in from every corner and you're gonna do a little dot. It helps if you can't find, I always use a little ruler to find the 1/4 inch mark. That helps me. So here's the 1/4 inch right here and a 1/4 inch down. And then you just put a black dot there. You're gonna do that for all 4 corners. Okay, once our ruler's set up, you can trim your half rectangle triangles. You start by aligning that middle seam with the 2 dots. So if you can see, the dot right here is matching up on the seam. The dot down here is matching up on the seam. And there's a little bit of overhang around all the taped off areas, which is what you want. If you're trying to, let's see, if you're trying to line it up and it looks funky like this, where it just isn't fitting well, you just need to do the other diagonal, is what that means. So I have the bottom lined up, the top lined up, and then I have enough over here on the other side of the tape that I can trim it. You're gonna cut the 2 sides that are out, and then you're gonna flip it. And at this point, you're gonna line up that corner with the corner you've taped off, and then make sure your 2 dots are lined up. And you can trim. Trimming on camera is so hard. You can trim the other sides. And there you have your half rectangle triangle. You'll want these nice blunt edges because that gives you the seam allowance. So when you sew the 1/4 inch in, it'll turn into a point. Anyway, half rectangle triangles. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or you can send me an email at thegatheringquilt@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. I hope you are having fun sewing. And then this is just in case you're curious. So the permanent marker dots, I just take them off with alcohol at the end and they just come right off.